What's up? Matthias, how's it going, brother? Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Good, you can hear everything. I was a little bit late because, OBS is interesting. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Just gonna hang out for a bit. I've had a bunch of, I've had like 3 consecutive questions about Helix and DIs and stuff, so we're gonna attempt to run through that, but I will probably wait for a little while. Since I know I'm late to stuff, maybe other people will be late. Until then, how's everyone doing? Miguel, my brother, how are you? Audio-Technica headphones, yeah. I have. I have some ATH M40Xs down here somewhere. I used them for a long time, and I have, where are they? Oh my God. I lied. I have the ATH M30Xs. You guys see these? I used these for a long time before I got my Bear Dynamics. And of course, the Sony MDRs, a staple in every studio. Right here. I have these plugged into my Mac right now. I like Audio-Technica stuff. I think they make good stuff. I also have the Bluetooth version of the M40s or 50s, whatever they are. And those things sound sick. Plus they're Bluetooth. I'm sure that's sacrilege for audiophiles. Miguel, how are you guys holding up in Cali? Yeah, these are the 250 ohm 990 Pros. You have to push them a little bit harder, but they sound good. Yeah, I can't can't make it any louder. That's the downside of having a SM7B and no cloud lifter. I don't want to introduce too much compression and noise. I guess I can try. If this fucks up, blame that guy. Hey Ben, welcome. Jason, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Enjoy your lunch. Microphone, microphone. How's this sound? Is it too loud? Testing, testing. Yeah, I'm chill. Yes, these are open back headphones. Somebody's asking. Let's see. Ben asked a question. Ben. Yeah, let's see. Love your videos. Thank you, dude. How long have you been using your Helix, and do you use it for professional records or scratch tracks? So I have had the Helix rack, I'd say maybe 6 months after it came out. And I use it on all of my stuff. I've mixed a few things where I reamped through it as well for some clients. My lenses, yeah. No, oh yeah, because of the angle. I'm an old man, man. I have terrible eyes. I have a wonky eye. My vision is bad. So, Ben, I use it on everything. Luis. Bueno. Awesome. Yeah, Ben, if you haven't listened to my music, I have music on Bandcamp. Don't feel obligated to buy it. But that's a good example. It's all Helix stuff. I mean, you can stream it on Spotify as well. As a matter of fact, you know, I've been kind of nerding out on Spotify. Just, it's not healthy. Followers, streams, and stuff like that. So, if you guys have Spotify, I'm on there. Be cool if you followed. I know there's like almost 5,000 of you that follow me on here, so it'll be cool. So all of that is an example of Helix stuff. It's all Helix on all the stuff on Spotify and on Bandcamp. And the bass as well. So, yeah. My voice is only on one side. Oh, because I'm an idiot. Ha ha ha. Should be mono. See? You see? Do you see what happens? DC, I'm glad I'm able to help, man. That's my favorite, is helping people out. Microphone, microphone. Testing. Testing, testing, testing. Is my voice clipping? Do I sound like crap? Somebody let me know. Please. Cool. Yeah, I put a mono plugin on. My bad. Just look up Nick Hill, my dude. Here, I'll share it with you guys. And don't feel bad. I know there's a lot of new people, and like don't feel like you have to follow me and do stuff. It's just, you know. Let me see. Here is. Here's my Spotify, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I'm not trying to sell. I feel like Ola. I'm just trying to sell myself. I'm just kidding. Those of you who are new, please know I'm just kidding. I love Ola. I'll put this in the chat too. Here's my Bandcamp, guys. And I also have a project that I'll share with you guys with my buddy Jeff. If you want to hear some of my music with vocals. Me and my buddy Jeff recorded some tracks. No, not a chance. So check out that stuff too, the Partisan component. That's my project with my buddy Jeff. I'm really proud of some of those songs. Alright, sorry. Enough self-promotion. I've been reamping with Helix, but can't figure out how to silence the DI track without it muting the reamp. Oh, okay, so you have to basically send it to another track. I use Reason. Reason. Reason is super, super awesome, but I find the audio recording aspect of it a little clunky because, I mean, I know they just integrated that maybe 2 or 3 versions ago. I mean, for the longest time, Reason, you weren't able to record audio into it. I know it's been years since you've been able to, but you have to basically set up a track, and I can demo it on Studio One. You have to set up another track to send your DI that's going through the Helix and record it that way. We can absolutely attempt to do that, but be warned, I might break things. I want to make sure I keep the stream and chat open. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Let me see. So, good question. I'm gonna, because I'm blind, make the chat bigger. Jacob, that's a good question. So what I typically do is I kind of do it in stages. I'll record the riffs, get the ideas down, and as I feel like I'm getting closer to a fleshed out song, I will then start mixing. So I might add my mix bus processing and then kind of move on from there. So a sort of a hybrid situation. I know, Miguel, I'm bummed too. But in my head, I'm thinking with some of the cool people that I've met, like you included, and some of my buddies that usually go to NAMM, I might set something up for us to still hang out, maybe spend a couple days just working on music and jamming. Nothing is fleshed out, of course. It's just I can't not go to California in January, you know? Obviously, if things get insane again in the winter, I ain't all about getting sick. Let's try this, gang. All right. You guys let me know if... Let me try and make this stuff a little bit bigger. All right. Just keep me posted if I mess up the audio. Let's see. Voice is still going. Oh, I'm sorry, Luis. I know you asked that before. My favorite amp sim in the Helix is Badunk, the Badunk amp model. You would notice that if you listen, if you go through my videos. Road Bowl, I make my own. I've never even messed with some of the preset for bass. I make my own bass patches. What are we doing here? Let's try. I'm going to try and demonstrate. This is not at all what I wanted. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Okay, create new song, first of all. All right. I'm going to try and show you guys how to do a DI with the Helix. So I'm in Studio One. Helix is my audio interface. Just create a new song. Now, this is obviously going to be different from DAW to DAW, but you need to set up your audio ins and outs in such a way that you can see. This is import Helix. Here we go. You have to set up your ins and outs to take in the processed Helix tones if you want, and the DI. So there are 8 inputs when you have your Helix as your audio interface. DC, no, not typically. I usually have the same patch. Play it one side for the left, play it one side for the right. Sometimes I'll quad track depending on the song, the riff, the tone. I'll do the same thing. Fully pan left, fully pan right. If I'm doing some ambient or some like melodies, sometimes I won't fully hard pan that stuff, but rhythm tones, hard pan left and right. All right, so I have the left and the right. That's the main outputs of the Helix. And then you have your stereo. And then you have your Helix DI, which is input 7 and 8 when you have that set up in your DAW. All right? So if I select this and I turn my guitar up and I hit record, you can see I'm getting a signal. Cool. All right. So then what you want to do is you want to create another track, and we're going to select that input 7, Helix DI. So you can see I'm getting signal to both of those. But this one is the DI signal. And this is the Helix processed. Cool? Cool. I like my guitars to be orange. And I haven't decided on a color for my DI. So if I record a bit, you can see that it recorded what is clearly a DI and the processed guitar. So here's the Helix. Actually, you guys probably can't hear that, can you? I gotta put restream on my master bus, send it to OBS. You can hear. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't think I had it set up properly. Oh, I'm an idiot. Because the Helix is going into the audio interface and you guys are hearing what's coming through the audio interface. Huh. Silly goose. So... filters. Receive. Cool. Now you might be hearing double. Anyhow. So that's the processed, and this is the DI. Imagine a time before distortion. All right, so you want to take your DI in your DAW and reamp through your Helix. This is what we're going to do. It's a little bit convoluted, but not difficult if you think about it and you take your time. So we're going to create another track, okay? And we're going to do reamp. Cool? And again, this is going to vary DAW to DAW. So I apologize. What's going on here? You're going to take your new track and you're going to send it out to your Helix. Now I have to show you what that means. So inside a Helix, apparently I'm an idiot for not like recording all my music with DIs. I mean, I never go back and reamp. I know I have the capability, but I just come up with a tone and I stick to it. And then I mix that. And if there's stuff I got to fix in the mix, then so be it. That's what I do. If I gave myself a chance to DI all of my stuff, I would never finish a song. Anyhow, so you set up your outputs, and inside a Helix, and bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to show you guys everything I can. Your first block is your input block. So this is where you can do multi or guitar. You have down here, it says USB 3 or 4, USB 5, 6, and USB 7, 8. So USB 7 and 8 is what the Helix sends a clean DI through 7 and 8, okay? So you want to select something other than 1 and 2 on your Helix. And I think even in the manual it says select either USB 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So I usually go 3 or 4. So you have to do this in your patch that you want to reamp through. So it would behoove you to create a preset in Helix and keep the input as USB 3 and 4, if I'm making sense. Hope you guys are following along. So now the Helix is going to look for USB 3 and 4 for a signal, process it, and then send it out. Okay? So now this is what that is. See, output 3 for the Helix. And I named it Helix Reamp. The nice thing about Studio One is you can rename your ins and outs. Okay? So, if you hit record on this is the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. It will take this DI, because I changed the output right here instead of the main. I changed it to the reamp, so it's sending out 3 and 4, USB 3 and 4. It's sending the signal of this reamp track right here out to the Helix. The Helix is going to process it and then record it to this track. So Spectacular. Oh, I'm an idiot. You have to take the DI and send it to Reamp. Honestly, I know what I'm doing, guys. You take your DI track after you record it, switch it to send to your Helix via 3 and 4. So see, not going to the main, going back to the Helix. Now I arm this. See, you're getting some phasing because the DI is also playing through the Helix right now. Cool. That wasn't complicated at all, was it? So see, now you guys will hear the DI coming through. And that's how you DI in Studio One. For all 13 of you, you're welcome. Sick riff. See, now I have to switch my input back to guitar. .00. What does that mean, Bun? 5? No problem, man. Scott, I just showed people how to do something legitimate and you missed it. So I hope that clears some things up. If you guys have any other questions, maybe I can answer them right now. You guys want to hear a patch I was working on last night? That, where is it? It's dark and ambient and scary, and it sounded cool last night. We'll see how it sounds tonight, or today. Jay Larson, did you ask that last time? Somebody else asked about 7 strings. Bun, thank you, my dude, for giving me $5 Canadian, which is $1.28 in America. Kidding. Appreciate you. I love you so much. Yeah, so I hope to not offend anybody, and I don't want anybody to judge me for my decisions, but I do partake in some edibles time and again. And I just heard this dark. It's so dark. It's so dark. I just EQ'd everything out of it. So I have my regular tone, and then I cut all the way down to 2K, and I cut 300 hertz, added some dual delay, and I think I cut down to 910 hertz, and then cut 110 hertz. This is the delay, so it's like dark and dull. And the verb, I think I did the same thing. I left some. There's no high end up to 16K anyway, so, but. Bun, I'm kidding, man. I don't care. You don't even need to give me that to begin with. I'll use it to buy an IR, a la carte. Yes. I think I was even... So I think I was playing this... Hold on. Damn it. And then just imagine something chuggy and heavy underneath it. To get back to Jay's question about 7 strings, no. And here's why. I don't see myself as a super great guitar player, so adding another string isn't going to benefit me in any way other than making it more difficult because of the wider neck. I would never bash a 7 string. Obviously, people do amazing things with 7 strings. I'm just not one of them. I prefer 6 strings. I'm in drop C with this. When I play my baritones, well, when I had baritones, and I plan on getting some more, I love tuning low, and I love baritones, and I love the snappiness a baritone gives 6 strings. I prefer 6 strings. I mean, it translates well. I don't need to think about the music that I don't know how to do anyhow. So, I prefer 6 strings, and if I want to go lower, then I use a baritone. When I had my Tremonti and my PRS 277 baritone, I would tune down to A and to B, which isn't super low for some baritone people, as Bun would say, but I just prefer 6 strings, and I like the longer scale length. Yes, sir, MM. It is my main guitar. I am looking into getting a Solar baritone. I think that'll be the next one. Probably don't need this. Yeah. So those of you who have joined and missed me setting up a DI situation with Helix, I can go over it again if there's people in here that want me to. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions, I can answer those. Helix related or not. Somebody asked about, oh, sorry. I know. Do I mix in mono? I've been experimenting with mixing in one speaker before I mess with anything stereo. Cheers. So, JJ's House of Jams. I do not mix in mono exclusively because I don't listen to things in mono in my everyday life. Now, there is something to be said about checking your mix in mono, and I do that. So, let me pull up Studio One again. And Studio One has this, and you can do this with plugins, but Studio One has this feature where if I just click this, it'll turn my mix into mono. So when I'm trying to come up with a good idea of levels between my drums and my bass and my guitars, I will flip it into mono with this button and just see how things sound. I feel like it isn't a perfect system for me, but it gives me an idea if something is way too loud. Because in the stereo spectrum, it's going to relate differently. So, I do play around with mono a little. To answer your question. Ben, sorry. That's going back to the Helix. So if you're using the Helix rack like me, or the LT, or the Helix floor, or even the HX Stomp, but you have to remember, if you have an HX Stomp, the USB in and out is a little bit different. So read the manual, but the process is still the same. So you're sending the signal back to the Helix as if you were plugging in your guitar. That's what the DI is doing in that situation that I showed. So, I know I saw something, another question. Is a patch made under the influence? Yeah. What else do we have to go to? Oh, Buckeye O'Malley asks if I have any go-to plugins for mixing. So the plugins, I have a lot of plugins, probably too many. Okay. I use Fab Filter plugins a lot. I like the EQ, Pro Q3. I use the multi-band compressor from Fab Filter also. And I mean, Fab Filter, they make great plugins, and it isn't intense on your CPU, which is nice. And they have different modes, so if you want a little more resolution, you can turn up the resolution in the plugins. But the zero latency, I mean, I don't notice any sort of like audio quality difference, if that makes any sense. So Fab Filter's great. Their bundle is really good. I also use Slate plugins, I'd say somewhat regularly. Not as much as would justify me paying every month for him, but you know how that goes, everybody. And then I still go back to some tried and true Waves plugins. I've also not shied away from any stock plugins in Studio One or in Logic when I'm on my Mac producing. Don't overlook stock plugins. Don't feel like you need to buy more plugins, you know. You can get what you're looking for out of stock plugins, I'd say, in most cases. Oh, you have Helix Native, Ben? So, I mean, forgive me, Ben, for not knowing exactly what you're asking here, but if you're recording with your interface, a DI to begin with, Like you would just drop. Yeah. See, now I confused myself, and maybe I misunderstood your question from earlier, and I apologize. So if you're using Helix Native and you record your track, you're going to have a DI, and then it's going to be processed with Helix Native. If you want to take the load off your machine, you would just bounce that, basically. You'd I'll show you what I mean here. So if I create a track here, and we're going to do a DI, in theory. Turn up my guitar. Now you're probably going to say, like, that's going to sound like crap, but no. I recorded the DI. Sick riff. Couldn't be more basic. So we'll drop something on there. Do I have any? I don't know if I... Excuse me. Alright. As much as I don't want to, because I'm... Whatever. So here's Amped Roots. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this. So you would go to events, I believe, here, and you're going to go bounce to new track. So it's going to take the DI, going through the process of the plugin, and then record it to a new track. And you can do that in, I'd say, just about any DAW out there. I know you can do it in Reaper. It might be labeled something different in the menu. You might have to go about it a different way, but I know you can bounce selections and tracks. So that's what you would do if you're using Native. My mouse keeps disconnecting. Anyhow. Yeah. Ben, I hope that's helpful. No problem, man. How's everybody else doing? What's going on? I am digging this tone. Yes, vocals. Any tips for sitting rock vocals in a thick guitar-driven mix? Any great vocal plugin recommendations? Thanks again. JJ's House of Jams. I haven't... The vocals I've mixed are extreme. I will, let me see if I can bring up... This is going to be an adventure, everybody. We're going to see if I can bring up an old track in which I recorded vocals. It's probably going to be missing 1,000 plugins. Let's see here. Bear with me. Bear with me. Look at all these ideas. You guys have hard drives that look like this? Must be on my other one. Wow. Yeah. Let me, if you guys don't mind, let me grab my other hard drive. And I can see if I can bring up a track with vocals on it. Yeah. I don't know if many of you know what I do, but I'm a video editor and a videographer for my day job, and the amount of external hard drives I have with footage on it from work is absurd. I'm trying to find a USB cable. Sorry guys. Super intriguing. I can eject this one. Hold on. Super professional. Dude, I don't get Windows. Sometimes you can go here and right click and hit eject, but it's not there. And then, get out of here. Okay. That should tell you. I mean, this is a sick indicate. Like I have. Look at all this. Oh shit. Songs. Man. Look at this. That's all the music that you haven't heard. Isn't that insane? God, that's insane. The problem is, it's like, what did I name it before I named it, you know? Dude. Yeah, exactly. No, most of these are just, okay. This, I believe, has vocals. Yeah. We're going to see how many plugins is missing, or this could be interesting. All this just to show you that I smash my metal vocals in my mix. Where I could have probably just said I'm not the best person to ask about rock vocals and getting them to sit in a thick guitar mix. If by thick you mean multiple tracks, then you're going to need to explore like frequency ranges and stuff. Wow. Oh yeah, see, look at at Pro Q2. Look at all this shit. I have H-verb. What the hell? Here's the problem. I mixed and recorded this on my Mac, and I used some some UAD plugins. So those are missing. So this was ridiculous. This is pointless. Yeah. And also, it's like inputs and outputs are probably all effed up. I mean, you're going to want to control your... In vocals, I wish I could frickin' show you. Here's an example in what I do. I mean, the vocals don't need to have a ton of low-end and body. Now, you don't want to neuter them, but I'm rolling off like almost to 100 hertz for this first EQ. Okay? I'm rolling that off. I'm brightening up the vocal. This is a terrible example, guys. I'm sorry. And I can't even bring up Pro Q2 because I don't have it on this computer because I've been using Pro Q3. But okay. Hello. Hello, hello. Am I back? Is it working? Guys, is it working again? Cool. So what I was trying to say is I roll off a lot of low end for the vocals, and this is tough to answer. I haven't done a ton of vocal stuff, and I don't want to steer you down the wrong road, you know? It's tough. You just got to control frequencies. Some people will notch like the vocal frequency. So like say your vocals are between like, and I'm just throwing out a number here, you know, realistically between 800 hertz and 2K. I don't know. You know, they'll try and avoid those frequencies with their guitars, but you also don't want to neuter your guitars. So I need more experience. Compression is your friend with vocals, especially with rock and metal. With my project, the Partisan component with my buddy Jeff, he has some very extreme vocals, and I slam his vocals through compressors. Sometimes I even will do a certain amount of compression on one compressor and then run it through another compressor, just because I want a big fat level, with death metal vocals especially, So that's kind of how I would approach it. But also, I watch hours and hours of like mix engineers and producers, even if it's not in genres I'm like going for. And I try and glean anything I can off of these experts. So, yeah, I know it's not very helpful. Basically, beating around the bush, but I don't want to, give you information that I'm not confident with. If that makes any sense. This does bring up a thing where I need to like go back and make sure I can open my projects on other machines. Exactly. And I don't think there's a right and a wrong way. There's best practices. There's tried and true methods. But, experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. So, let me see if I can bring up the track I'm talking about, and you can hear the vocals. Let's see. Can I run Spotify on here? I have no idea. I don't hear anything. It's also not playing. Weird. Let me think how I can do this. Oh, good idea, Bun. Good idea. Not Heretic Anthem, I don't know. Cool. So it's like my OBS is hogging it. But I can download it and buy my own track. Here's another benefit of using DistroKid, gang, is that they save your songs for you. Now I should be able to load yeah, interesting is definitely one way I'd put it. Annoying. Add a media source. So I'll turn it off for now. Browse. Download. There we go. Now, we'll see what happens with this. Did I just blow everybody's ears out? I'm sorry. Sorry. I can't, like, it's so stupid. I can't hear it. No. Enjoy. Anyway, awesome. The adventures of live streaming. So that's my buddy Jeff, and those are the vocals, and I basically smashed them. Cool story. I don't understand why I can't hear anything. Okay. Hi, guys, I'm sorry. Alright. Bun, Clawthorn Drive for bass and helix, I have not. Should I? Question mark. ... Also, guys, I'm super sorry about the technical difficulties. It's not a game. I don't know. Maybe I need to have this stuff open and ready to go beforehand. So I apologize. Let's see what this does. Dude, why can't I hear anything through OBS now? Annoying. Let's try this. No. Bun, did you do a video of that? Oh, you did, didn't you? Or you did a Wounded Paw head? A bass head? Or am I wrong? Am I remembering this incorrectly? Ah, I am going to check it out. I didn't put those two together. Shit. Oh, am I completely just bonkers today. And is that why I couldn't hear anything? I'm going to try this one more time, guys. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm such an idiot. Sorry. Forgot how much I love that track. All right. Let's see how. So you're saying it's a what did you say, Bun? The Helix version is just the preamp. So Clawthorn Drive. Is it in Drive then? Oh. Good gravy. All right. Suppose I need a. Holy mother. How about we put it through a cab? Silly goose. Where's my amp pegs? I saw that one amp. There we go. Wow. Bun, do you have some go-to settings for this bad boy? I know our bass tones are a little bit different, but... Right. But I'm just trying to translate from your the hardware one you used, maybe. That's it. I mean, I know you don't have it. super useful for me. Yeah, I usually use the B7K model in here. And that is the nice thing. I mean, yeah, there's not necessarily a blend. This is just the fuzz. Oh, wow. I mean, that's gross, but sick. It's crazy, Bun. This simple little Squire Jaguar bass. How much I enjoy it and how much I've truly gotten out of it. Let's see how much it is. $3.99. I did not pay $3.99 for this. It was maybe $2 when I bought it. But this is it. Actually, man, it's not it. This one doesn't have the active electronics. So this is the one I have. It's on Reverb. I wonder if they even make this one anymore. Excellent, excellent link. from Mastodon. Sick. The vintage and modified, I think, has the active preamp section. Oh, excellent. Guitar Center doesn't want to. Oh. No. It's not the link I clicked on. Bizarre. Anyway. I could see myself using this bun. For sure. Gritty and sick. I'm just gonna put grit, bass, save it, come back and play with that for sure. Where's my typical? Here's my metal bass patch. Playing with normally I don't play with a pick this thick on bass, but I broke my flimsy one. Oh, here it is. This thing is like there's no way. Let me see. Bring it up. Hello? Hi. Can you guys see? That's about as thin of a pick as I can possibly get. 0.5 millimeters. I love playing with this pick. It makes it extremely hard to play, but you know, levels off my playing. It forces me to be cleaner with my playing. It's like built-in compression with that fucking floppiness. Bun, you're a skater. You gotta know that Rancid song. tremolo pick with this thing. But I primarily downpick my bass parts. Almost exclusively. Yeah. Look at this bass tone, it's so simple. This is the B7K model. Now I'm going to go back and listen to NoFX today. I haven't listened to them for quite possibly 1 decade, if not 2 decades. Yeah, that's a time bomb. That's the time bomb bass line from Rancid. When I play it correctly. I don't remember the rest. Yay, punk. What am I? Yeah, nice. Hi. Just messing around. My bass tone. How's everyone doing? What are you guys doing today? It's pretty nice out today where I am, so after this I'm definitely going to get outside and enjoy some of the sun. Even though it says it's 48 outside, which doesn't seem very pleasant. Do I collab with other YouTubers? One of my best buddies and fellow collaborators is in the chat right now, The Bun. I've collabed with him. I did a piece of a video for a Glenn Fricker video. Welcome. I have a few things in the works with a couple people. It's just finding the time and also coming up with a cohesive idea that people are going to enjoy. I'm open to most things. Yeah, I'm in no hurry to go run back out into public, just because, I don't want to get into a debate. Nice. It's always nice getting into a new space and getting it set up and able to really enjoy it. So, congrats on that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's quite a convoluted and complicated process getting things set up to live stream. That is for sure. I mean, I have my Helix and an audio interface and my mic, and the thing is, you're not supposed to run phantom power through your interface if your Helix is plugged into it. And so that's why I'm using my 7B, because it doesn't use phantom power. But then, my volume has a tendency to be low for my vocals or my voiceover. And I was finally able to get everything to work through OBS. So you can basically hear my Helix, you can hear my voice. If I don't F things up, you can hear what's going on in my DAW, as long as I think open things up in the right order. Windows is bizarre. And I know streaming on a Mac has its own set of challenges, but I feel like once you get things working on a Mac, they just work. Like, nothing takes, I don't know. Yeah. The thing is, probably when you're using a guitar going into Cubase and then you have to monitor through Cubase, you probably have to have your buffer size pretty big so that you don't have any clicks or pops. And, if the buffer's too big, you're going to get massive amounts of latency. Interesting. I mean, if you're having problems, you set up there that you're having problems, so I was just, if you're having problems, when I use a photo in the mic player, speak and play. I mean, people can hear the guitar when I'm playing. There's no way, unless you have like some sort of gate set up to where when you're playing your guitar, your vocal mic is muted. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it all, really. I mean, you have your vocal mic more often than not right next to where you're playing. You're going to pick up the pick sound. It's not going to be perfect. Yeah, I guess I don't know what you're talking about then. I'm just sympathizing with you. I know it can be a pain setting everything up. And it still doesn't always work each and every time. I mean, what's your hesitation to update anyway? I guess I would ask. So 2.9 is what the Purple came out. 2.91, I believe, fixed bugs in 2.9. I'm on 2.91. I don't have any problems. I guess I don't know what to say, man. I've never had any problems with any updates. I know people seem to have issues with it, and yeah, Ben, go check Bun out. He's my dude. Yeah, I mean, streaming on a Mac is not simple. It's not a straightforward process. It's hard capturing desktop audio, and there's things you need to do. But some things just work better on Mac. So like I was saying before about updating, I've never had a problem with any Helix update. I back up my patches and IRs. I update HXEdit first, which is what you're supposed to do. And then I download the new firmware. I mean, it's so easy now, especially, I don't know if it's 2.9 or 2.91, where you can, if there's an update, you can update just when you update HXEdit, you can update your Helix device in HXEdit. Or maybe it pulls up the updater, but I've never had any problems, so. Yeah, I mean, the thing about updating software and hardware is drivers on Windows, and imagine the amount of drivers and things that a Windows machine needs to be able, it's endless, the list of pieces of hardware that need to be recognized. It's amazing that Windows even works to begin with. So when I throw shade at Windows, it's just out of frustration. It's not that it's like, any operating system is a ridiculous feat in programming. Yeah, Bun, since I got the Mac sitting right over here, I've been wanting to experiment with streaming from it as well, or even somehow getting that Blackmagic capture card that you have for my iMac, and then sending out my video from the PC to it, and then sending the sound from the piece from my interface over to my UAD. Yeah, so I've created many an aggregate device on Mac, and they're with the ASIO for all plugin for Windows, you can essentially do the same thing. You can combine multiple interfaces. Like I have a combination. I don't use it, but you can combine like the Helix and my PreSonus as an example with the ASIO for all plugin. So it's sort of like creating an aggregate device on a Mac. At some point, OSs are just going to make things, I would assume, just depending on the trajectory of technology and people, even before everything that's going on in the world right now, streaming was becoming more prevalent, and people want to be able to do it closer and closer to like a turnkey solution. So it should just be, your OS should be able to handle it. And at some point, I think that'll be the case. I don't have any concrete information or any information at all. I'm just speculating. I am using Ownhammer. It's the OH410 Ampeg SVT10 Cut Dynamic. It's one of the mix IRs from the Ampeg pack from Ownhammer. I am a big fan of Ownhammer. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not paid by them. I am good friends. I've become good friends with John from Sonic Drive Studios, who works with Ownhammer. I don't know for, but works with. And, I know he has, like, a little bit to gain by putting the Ownhammer word out there, but he never, like, pushes me. He just makes recommendations, of course, but, I was into Ownhammer before I even met John, started talking to him. So I think my love for Ownhammer, and I mentioned it in a bunch of my videos, and then I think John kind of caught wind of it, and we became buddies from there. But I like Ownhammer stuff. I think I try a bunch of different... I've tried ML Sound Labs, which I don't want to say I didn't like, but I always end up coming back to Ownhammer. I just got the GGD Zilla IR plugin, and I love it. I love that. Here's the thing I love about the GGD Zilla IR pack thingy, or whatever it is. It's a plugin that you can load IRs, and it's the Zilla pack, or the Zilla. It's a focus on Zilla cabs. You can combine and mix multiple IRs and then output it as one IR. So I was able to go into the plugin, mix an IR, and then output it and put it into Helix. But I still ended up going back to my Ownhammer IRs. So I don't know what to say. There can be, Sebastian, there can be a difference. I know that NAD IR has like, you can adjust, if you're mixing, you can adjust the delay on one or the other. There's a high and a low pass, a high cut and a low cut in NAD IR. Trying to go by memory. There is like a resonance knob in NAD IR, and I know that affects the tone. So you wouldn't obviously do that with. There's no resonance here on the IR block, so I don't know what it's doing either. So when I was playing with NAD IR, I did notice that. You could potentially have different sounds with the same impulse. But since with my setup, I'd rather just get. I'm fine with having to mix my tones. I recognize I'm not going to get it 100%. I mean, I could, but I recognize. yes, John probably exclusively used his own hammer IRs. What I'm saying is that you can manipulate the IRs in NAD IR. That would make them sound different than if you were just to drag and drop them in your Helix. That's what I'm saying. But since I have a hardware Helix, I don't have to worry about latency when it comes to like using VSTs. And I don't want to even worry about it, I am sensitive to latency. I feel like I can notice it maybe a little bit sooner than most, which doesn't make me special in any way. I just, don't like it. So I get as close to a tone that I would love in a mix in my Helix, and then I don't have to worry about latency because I'm going right into my interface and I can have my block size like as big as I want because I don't need to worry about it. Yeah, man. If I show you, so if you look at my IR block right now, I'm cutting down to 14K, and in some of my other ones, let's see. I'm cutting this down to 8K. I'm cutting this down to 8K. And then I have that. Well, yeah, Sebastian, you can't have it bright and dark at the same time. You got to find that balance. And you might find that if you look for some of those problem mid-range frequencies and lower those, you'll get a little more clarity. Also, if you get rid of some of the low end, the woof that we often like to hear when we're playing, like, I'm sure there are people that think my tones have no balls and low end, but that's what the bass is for. What am I doing here? This is these are two Mesas, right? 412 Tradition traditional V30, a 414 with a bright mix, and a 121 with a dark mix. Potentially, yeah. So Sebastian, like, I also boost, like, I am on this tone as an example. Bun does some of the best guitar videos out there. And I'm going to make him, I'm putting the pressure on him. I aspire to be like Bun's channel. His aesthetic, his videography, his editing, his laughter, his humor, like, if you guys don't know who Bun is, he's in the chat. The Bun. He runs a YouTube channel and a Facebook group called Baritone Obsessed. I highly recommend all of you check it out. I mean, Bun's videos are like mini movies. I love them. So back to Sebastian. This one, I'm cutting. I have this low and high shelf. I'm cutting a dB at 300 hertz and below. So I'm I'm cleaning up the low end. I'm also not doing anything else in that one. Yep, AKG 414 and a Royer. Yeah, exactly. I love a 414. And the 121. The 121. If I get an IR pack, I almost always go to the 121 and the 414 first each and every time. I did a series of videos. I mean, we're still planning on doing more, but since everything's kind of crazy right now, we haven't been doing them for a local music store, and we will record musicians live in the store, and I'll throw a 414 on a cab or a combo amp, and I just love how it sounds. So I started gravitating towards them when I'm mixing IRs and stuff like that. So Sebastian, as you can see, like I said, 300 hertz and below, I'm cutting 1 dB on that IR, or on that EQ. Then I'm using this tilt EQ. At 1K, I'm boosting and brightening by 8. So the default is right here in the middle, flat. So everything, what was I at, 8? So everything above 1K is boosting, and everything below 1K is attenuating or cutting. So I'll turn these off. And then I add them back in. Okay. And then again, I am rolling off 8K here. I'm also cutting 6 dB at 5.3K. So with a lot of my tones, I will, and in the mix, I boost at 2K and I boost at 8K. I do it almost all the time. It's just I like to brighten them up even more. So if I go back to, this is the one I've been using a ton. So again, 200 hertz and below, I'm cutting half a dB. And then at 5K, I'm boosting a dB. So 5K and above, I'm boosting. And then again, I have the tilt EQ at 1K, brightening to the tune of 15. Cool. All right, boys. Well, it's been almost 2 hours. I'm probably going to go try and enjoy some of the sunshine. So, Bun, thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Those of you that are in here, go check out the Bun's channel. Please do me a personal favor. Go check him out. He's one of my dearest friends. And, you know, we really kind of use each other to motivate one another. Probably the best thing to come out of this whole YouTube experience is meeting my buddy the Bun, Scott. So go check out the Bun. Thank you guys for hanging out so much. I appreciate you. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. Yeah, anytime I do a Helix video, Sebastian, I try to go post over there. Just because I know people bounce in there. I appreciate all you guys and all the support, and I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, man, absolutely, Ben. Thanks for being here. I love teaching. I love helping people. Road Bull, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Good hangs. Of course, Jay. No problem, man. Thanks for being here. And I promise I'm working on trying to get my setup to the point where my mic's a little bit louder, so you guys don't have to hear me quiet. Hey, Bun, by the way. Bun has sick merchandise. Baritone obsessed. Bun's a graphic designer, so all his stuff is sick. Go buy his merch. I have some merch too, but I didn't share the link in here, and I'm not even using the mug. Terrible. Yeah. There we go. Gotta support the homies. All right, guys. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys soon. I'll try and do another one this week. Apologies, I missed Tuesday. Work's been a little bit nuts, to be honest with you. So, I'll see you guys soon. I will do my best to schedule it like I did for this one. Put it up at least a day or two in advance, so you know when we're going to do a live stream. Bring your questions next time. Yeah. Tuesday night, I'm thinking. Tuesday night. So if you guys want to jump on Tuesday night, chill, have a beer and whatnot, let's do that. Cool? Thanks, guys. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for the support. Go check out Bun now. Later.